Hi! Welcome to Not My Shelves. That was awkward, but we're going with it.
Rocky Star, welcome back. I'm Michelle.
I'm Rachel.
We're not ready. We're not ready for this yet. Sorry, guys. No, I'm just kidding. So I guess we're gonna talk about books we read this week. Have you read any other ones besides?
Here's the thing.
Okay.
I am in the middle of A Feast for Crows, which is a 1,000-page book,
Oh, okay.
as well as Outlander, which is 600.
Why
So
did-
no, I did not do not have anything else.
Why did you do that to yourself?
I don't know.
Well, I read just a couple manga besides the real book, so I'll talk about your 1,000-page book over there, like overachiever. No, I'm just kidding. I read The Seventh Loophole, or Time Loop. I'm sorry. It's like the volume number 7. It just came out, so it's just a continuation. She's obviously reincarnated 7 times, and she's trying not to die this time.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and then it's like shows how her past lives help her in this life. So, and then I also read Firefly, which was also another manga, and it's one of the weirder ones. I picked it up just because of the name. Not gonna lie.
So it's not based on the show.
No. It is based in like rural Japan, where like a duke's daughter got kidnapped, and so she's like, "I'll marry you if you help me escape from the assassin." And he's like, "Okay, sure, all right." And he's like love bombing her like super hard. And he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna be great together." And I'm like, "Ah!" And then he's like, "Well, the only way to get off this island is you have to be a prostitute and get bought out." And he's like, just go." And she's like, "Oh, so you want me to be a prostitute?" He's like, "Well, not really." And so she's like, "Okay." He's like, "You know, I have one shot." And she's like, "Okay, get the fuck out." And he's like, "I don't want you to spend other time with guys." And I'm like, "Oh my god." I'm like, whoa. And that's the end of the first manga. They only have one out. So that was that. I was like, not sure how this one's gonna go. Because, you know, Mango is known for its weird, kind of quirky storylines. And I'm like, this is unique. Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's mine in a nutshell. Do you want to go with the podcast book?
Yeah.
Or do you have any other, like, bookish news?
I don't have any bookish news. I have been in a slump of panic of what's happening in the United States
I gotcha.
right now. So wasn't focused on bookish news,
I got
more
you.
on other stuff.
No, I totally understand it. No worries. So we'll just go right into it. We're going to go with Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer.
Yes.
I had it written down. So and this one I can pronounce pretty well, so it works really good. It is our romance pick for the month. July. It's July.
It's July, yeah.
Woo! Okay. It's our first book for July. Sorry, I feel like time's going by fast. Okay.
That's what happens when we gotta read a book.
That's true. The time commitment. No, I was kidding. I like reading, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So it's a hockey romance.
Yes. Hockey romance.
Just FYI, in case you didn't, get it from the book cover. Just saying. So I guess we're just gonna go right into it.
Yeah. Let's introduce our 2 main characters.
Okay. The first main character, he's the hockey player. His name is Jamie Stretcher.
Striker.
Stretcher?
Striker.
Striker?
Yes.
Jamie Striker. That makes more sense now. They named a signature move as his last name, and I was like, this doesn't sound good. But now that, Okay, so the female character is, I'm gonna let you do this one.
Is Pippa Hartley. Is what her last name is.
Hartley, yep.
I forgot her last name.
It's one of those books where, like, last names, obviously his last name matters, but hers, it's gonna be changed anyways, I'm just
Pretty
saying.
much.
And then I have a whole new list of characters, but I guess the other one I want to do is Daisy, which is their doggy.
Yes. Which he finds, like, the first chapter, and I love it.
Yes. But, like, straight, like, she's trying to eat from a dumpster, and he's like, okay, I'll take you to a shelter, and then he researches, like, the best shelter to take the dogs, and he's like, nah, I ain't going, you're staying with me. And I'm like, oh, so he's a big softy.
Yeah. So you adopted a dog off the street.
Yes.
Which he didn't name, by the way.
Yeah, no, he just
He just took it home, and he was like, okay, we're gonna figure out the situation.
yeah. So it kind of starts out with, like, the beginning of the book. He requested a transfer to Vancouver Storm's team.
Yes.
Because of his mom and her illness. And then, you know, in the front of the book, or in the beginning of the book, he finds a dog, he has commitment issues. Standard book boyfriend, you know. Grumpy, never smiles. That's pretty much him, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Pippa, sorry. She's 24, he's 26. I wrote that down.
I did not.
I mean, it doesn't really matter, really. But she is kind of down on her luck. She's living with her sister, like, on the couch of her sister's apartment. She just got out of a very serious relationship. I think it was 7 years long, if that's remember.
7 or 8.
Yeah. And he was a singer in a band, so for the last 2 years of their relationship, and his name is Zach, but we can refer to him as Dickhead. It's fine.
Yeah.
So he breaks up with her through a text, which is the shittiest way to do it. But I think what's even shittier is he's like, hey, I got a car, you wanna come see me? It takes her to the fucking airport. Like,
Yeah.
and then she's like, what's going on? And then he's like, oh yeah, I'm breaking up with you. What the fuck?
He takes his tour people and he drops her off at the airport. Like, are you kidding me?
I was like, what is this stupidity? Is what I was thinking. But he kind of tells you, or kind of shows you, you know, it's a good thing she's leaving him.
Well,
Shouldn't have a choice in the matter, but just another reason he's a dickhead. We're just gonna leave it at that. So this is where Jamie he has the dog. He's trying to take care of his mom. So
his mom has panic attacks because his father was a heavy drinker, alcoholic, and he died in a car crash. So anytime she smells alcohol or is driving, she has panic attacks.
Right. Which is, you know, obviously not a good thing to have while you're driving. So he kind of comes home to try to take care of her and try to get her some help and stuff. So he basically, I didn't know this, apparently you can call your, like, coach or agent or whatever, and it's like, I need an assistant.
I don't know how accurate that is, but that's what happened in the book.
Yes. So she shows up to his house, his apartment. He hasn't moved, like, he hasn't unboxed anything, and he has the dog, and then you kind of find out from her perspective. It's multiple POV. It's obviously him and her. They switch kind of back and forth. They went to high school together.
Yes.
And she had the hugest crush on him.
Except for she was with Zach. So, like...
Yeah. Which kind of explains a little bit later. I think Zach... anyways. Later.
Whatever.
Yeah. So, and then, of course, we know from his perspective that he also had a crush on her. And they don't know that. Each other don't know that they had a crush on each other. Until, like, oh my god, I think like 80% into the book.
It was like 80% in, and then they find out.
Yeah. So, basically, she shows up, and he is, like, really nervous and doesn't say anything, and just kind of leaves for go practice. And, he didn't want her to be there. Like, basically, their job was to take care of stuff behind the scenes and not be in his home when he's there. So, she forgot the first day, and like literally unpacked his whole fucking house and rearranged it to, you know, that female touch, you know. And I'm just like, okay, cool. This is, and then he fires her.
Well, I think he fired her because he was trying to make it work where he didn't see her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he's trying not to have a relationship. He's
Yes.
like, I gotta focus.
Yes.
I need to focus on being the best goalie.
Yeah. He, like I said, very afraid of commitment. But due to some past relationship trauma. But yeah, so he was just like, no, this ain't happening. And then of course she gets the call, and she's like, what did I do? Like, come on.
And she named his dog in this part.
Yeah. Yeah. And because she's like, what's her name? And he's like, I don't know. So she names it Daisy, and then I was like, I put it on my notes, permanent question mark. I was like, of course, you know, once you name a dog, it doesn't matter, you know. So she kind of goes to get her job back, and she's like, what the fuck did I? So she bakes cupcakes. And she's like, no one can be mad if you show up like, with cupcakes. Fair point. I'm not gonna lie. Fair point. So she does, and
He's like, all right, I guess.
he's like, I can't. He's one of those, I don't want to say people, or I don't
This
say
is where she calls him a dickhead,
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
You're
100%.
a dickhead.
She's like, what the fuck did I do? You didn't even introduce yourself. And, you know, from his perspective, we get the reason why he was so flustered, and he was like, oh my god, she's more beautiful. So he's like, I leave. So,
And he came home and she was just singing.
yeah.
So he's like, oh, no.
Nope. He's like, I can't do
Exit.
this. Exit stage left. So of course he feels bad, and he's like, okay, just don't want to happen again. And I think that arrangement works out pretty well for them until it doesn't.
Yeah.
Like he came, I think they were out for a hike. I think this is when it changed. Her sister Hazel, who she's been still like living with,
Mm-hmm.
I lost my train of thought. She also works for the team, but she's like psycho.
I think she's a
PT?
physical therapist.
Yes, something to do with the physical therapist, and she really wants to open her own like yoga studio. But her and Hazel go for a hike with Daisy, of course, and you know she,
Pippa.
Pippa. I rehearsed this all but yesterday. I was like, Pippa. I got this. Obviously I don't got this. So Pippa comes home to his house, I should say, his apartment, and she got all muddy, and so did the dog. So she washed off the dog, and you kind of know where this is going. So she takes a shower. And he arrives, I think, like 2 hours earlier than like he's supposed to be there, and I think
Catches her in her towel.
yeah, yeah, and he's like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do this.
He goes, I'm leaving.
Yeah,
He's like, out.
I'm out. It's a very, very slow burn book. So if you're into that, slow
It's
burn.
kind of slow burn. I've had worse slow burns.
Yes, that's true. I mean, there's some kind of like, you know, but I mean, they don't really have sex until
50% in, I think.
not even that. They don't like officially have.
Yeah, well, officially.
That's heavy petting. Come on.
They mess around.
Yes, they mess around, but no sex until I think later in the book.
Yeah.
So,
Because there's, like, she's like, I don't want to get my heart broken again. He's like, I can't do this because I don't want to break her heart.
yeah, like it's just, you know, those books that have that miscommunication. You're like, just fucking talk to each other. This would be solved in 2 seconds.
Yep.
That's how I feel about this. So
Also, with cupcakes, I put rage cupcakes.
yeah, because she made him with like she was angry, and then
Yeah.
she's like, "This is a bad idea." No, I have cupcakes. It's fun. Which I absolutely love. I'm like, oh, that's hilarious. So I don't remember when they officially start living together.
So it's after
After,
the shower, and
Yes.
she gets dressed, and then she goes down to the coffee shop, and she's like, okay, well, I gotta not be around him.
Yeah.
And he's gone because he can't be around her. And then,
Whoa.
and then she's crying for some reason because
Okay, Zach got, so Hazel, her sister,
oh yeah, the video.
sent her the link of Zach's new shiny toy. Someone that he brought on stage with him, and that sent her into a spiral because the last interaction she kind of had with her ex-boyfriend was she was writing a song. Well, she wrote the song, sung it, and played the guitar. That came up with her own song, and was crushed because Zach and his manager,
Yeah.
which no name was given, was like laughing at her, like, I was like, that's cute, like, no, like, full, like, it just traumatizes her. So she has this really big hang up with singing and picking up her guitar again because she doesn't feel like she has what it takes, because Zach filled her head for 7 years that you're not good enough, but I'll take your stuff.
Yeah.
Dickhead number 1. I mean, technically number 2, but you know, Jamie's a big softie, so. So yeah, so that's when he sees her crying in the coffee shop, and he's like, oh, "What's wrong? No, stop this." He's like, "I can't."
He's like, I gotta fix it. I gotta fix it.
Yes, he is very much a sucker for fixing things, fixing people, I should say. So this is where he's like, "Okay, you're living with me," and
Yeah.
she's like,
She goes, I don't know how this is gonna work.
This isn't working out. I mean, like, so, I mean, he really doesn't give her a choice. He's basically like, no, you're moving in. It's fine. It'll make it easier for Daisy. Sure, that's
Daisy,
right,
yeah.
That's what's really funny. But, so she's like, okay, I guess. So she starts living in the spare bedroom. Tries to keep much, you know, to herself as she can, because he's...
Separate spaces.
Yeah. He's like, I can't. And this is kind of the first, I think after this, Jamie goes to visit his mom.
Yes, it's either after that or before, right before this, where he goes and visits his mom.
Yeah. And that's kind of when you find out about his dad and how he died, and that's what spirals his mom. His mom's name is Donna. And that sends her into spirals. So, yeah.
So she wants to go to a hockey game.
Yes.
So, and he's like, okay,
Yeah.
I guess.
He's like, it's not a good idea. There's not gonna be drinking, and that's one of her biggest triggers is drinking. So this leads into
Pippa and Donna go to the hockey game,
Yeah.
which is against. Do you know what Rory's team is?
I don't think it ever said, did it?
It said, but I don't know. I don't remember what his team is. It doesn't matter because he's transfers over to the Vancouver Storm
at the end of this book. It leads into probably the next book, and
the next book is Rory and Hazel,
Yes.
and then the one after that is the other hockey player,
Owen,
Owen.
the golden retriever energy guy.
Yeah. Owen, and I don't know who his lady is, but she's in this book as well.
Huh.
I think
Well, it wouldn't be Aaron.
it might be Jordan.
I'm not sure who Jordan is.
She's the bartender.
Oh.
But
Okay.
I'd have to double
Oh, I
check
was
that.
gonna
I don't
say-
know for sure.
I'm not 100% is that why she hates hockey. So, the coach kind of takes Jamie to this bar, and it's a dive bar, but you don't tell the owner that. It's called actually the Pink Flamingo. And the only reason I bring this up is because Jamie pockets this information because the coach basically has him come to dinner or lunch or whatever with him after practice, and he's like, "You gonna hang out with the team?" And
Yeah.
he's like, "Okay." But he really thinks that Pippa,
Yes.
yes, would really like the bar. So he's like, we'll bring her back. So I just wanted to bring that up, sorry. But yes. So this is where Donna and Pippa go to the game. And I think it's fine up until the point where the game's end. They're kind of waiting in like the family box.
Yes. And Rory's flirting with Pippa.
Oh, yes.
And Donna gets a drink
Splashed on her
spilled
by
on her.
a server, whatever. So she kind of like exits, and Pippa's like, "Are you okay?" And that's when she kind of helps her through her panic attack. They're in the bathroom, and she's like, "Breathe," and gets her calm. And then Jamie's like, "My heart." Of course, he doesn't say that, but he's just like, "Oh, like, you're taking care of my mom. Thank you. I really appreciate that." And he kind of sees her in a new light.
Because he didn't already like her before.
Yeah, he's just like, "Oh, all these things. I need to back away." We kind of, like, get a little bit more of, like, Jamie's backstory when he visits his mom about his ex-girlfriend, and that's why he's never dated since. So I think it was like 19 at the time, so I'm not sure how old she was, but she was a model, his
I
ex-girlfriend.
think she was 19 as well.
Okay. And she was a model, and they were together, and they had a pregnancy scare, and I guess Jamie was just like, "Oh, fuck my life, 19, I'm in hockey." Like, he had his face, so, when you tell someone, you're like, because she was super excited, she's like, "Oh my god, I might be pregnant," like, and then his face just, like, fell, and there's no recovering from that.
No.
Like, there's just not. So, they break up, and he has a lot of guilt about it.
Well, I think he has a guilt because of the pregnancy scare, and also because she kind of, like, quit modeling and fell off the face of the earth for, like, so many years.
Yeah. So he feels like he crushed her, and so he doesn't want to crush anyone else. So that's the relationship trauma from his point.
At least not emotionally.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Not emotional trauma, that's fine.
Sorry.
Anyways, sorry, that got me, that's funny. So, Donna goes home in an Uber, because obviously she doesn't drive, because that's one of her triggers.
Then Jamie drives
Them
Pippa home.
Yeah, they go home. And during this whole book, just sexual frustration, just everywhere. They both really want to like each other, and sometimes get off on each other, imagining it. I don't know, whatever. They're not together yet, but like, she hears him like moan her name, and
They like to have solo fun time.
yeah, I guess that's a better way to put it. Thank you. I was like, I don't know how to word this.
They're going on solo missions.
Yeah, pretty much. So one morning after the game, she's like, "I'm going to go to a hot yoga class with my sister to support her, because apparently like her coworkers or something give her a hard time. I don't know."
Yeah.
So Jamie's like, "Okay, I'll go." And she's like, "What?" and this is where Hazel picks up on. I think she already knew, but so of course Jamie is a hockey player, so you have to have a lot of strength. So he takes off his shirt because it's hot yoga. You sweat to death during that, I guess.
I mean, they have it in like 90 in this yoga studio.
Ugh.
Sounds like a miserable time.
Yeah, it sounds horrible. I mean, no thank you. Anyways, so he, of course, is a man. He can take off his shirt, which I'm mad about, but that's beside the point. And she's just like staring at him during the entire time and doesn't really do any yoga. Which is, fair enough. Because I think one point she described Jamie as being an Olympian, like his body physique.
Well, I think he also played on the Olympic team for Canada.
Oh, there you go. See, I knew that. I did know that. I just didn't think it was important to the story.
I mean, it's mentioned one time.
Yeah, I was going to say it is mentioned one time. So, after yoga class, Jamie, Pippa, and Hazel go to the dive bar, the Pink Flamingo. And Hazel realizes that, like, her fucking classes are, like, booked for the next month.
Yep.
Because, you know, Jamie was there. He apparently never takes any photos with people. And so after the class, they, you know, a couple of the women were like, can we get pictures? Because they're, like, a local team, right? It's like a local team. Okay.
So they're based in Vancouver and the team is in Vancouver as well.
So.
Because that's usually how it works.
Yeah. So Pippa kind of like takes Jamie aside and she's like, I really appreciate you helping my sister. And he's like, oh yeah, I didn't do anything. Bro, sure.
We know exactly what you did.
You're right. And so Pippa's like, you know, I explained that my sister's having a hard time getting people to take the classes. And she's like, I really appreciate you showing up. And he's like, oh, you know, some other team members could benefit from this hot yoga. And I'm like, I don't think we need any hot men in there, but it's fine. And so I think that after they're done, let's see here.
This is about the time where she gets the news about the party.
Yes.
Zach's tour rap party.
Which, yes. Yeah. I hate Zach as a passion, but yes. So one of her friends from, like, the from the tour, call her and she's like, hey, we're gonna be in town, we're gonna have a party, are you coming? And she's like, why would I be coming? Like, I'm not part of the thing anymore. And she's like, well, you're on the invite. It's a freaking email invite. And everyone sees that she's CC'd on it, you know, and she's like, well, fuck, now if I don't go, like, and then she's like, oh my god, you know, if I look horrible, then they're gonna be like, oh, you know, it's such a sad time to, you know, Zach, when Zach left, or if he showed up too hot, then you're, like, trying to get back with him. Standards, bro!
Can't win in this situation.
Definitely not. So, Jamie offers to go with her to, you know, be the protective male character that he is.
He says, if you get on stage and you play, then I'll go to the rap party with you.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. And she does for one song.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, he's just trying to build her confidence back up because, like, she kind of talks to him about Zach and the reason why she doesn't really play all that much, and he's just like, you're fucking stupid. You're amazing. Like, sing.
Yeah. Like, he also gives her a nickname Songbird.
I love it. It's one of the better, like, oh. Anyway. Yeah. So, I think, is this where he, like, she makes the deal with him to, like, sing him a song? Or just at the bar? Because I thought that was part of the deal.
So,
I think it was, hey, I'll go with you to the party. I want one song.
Yeah.
And she, like, avoids him for, like, a week. Because she's like, no, I don't want to do this. And then I think she finally, she's like, I can't because of the last time, you know, I sung. And he's like, I want to hear that song. Like, a fucking chorus. And she's like, I can't. Like, I don't want to be laughed at. And he's like, no, that song.
Because I won't laugh at you, but I'll look at you really sternly.
Yes. Because Jamie's known for, like, to never smile or be grumpy or resting bitch face, really. Whatever that equivalent to.
He's a little grumpy gills.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. So she sings him the song, and he's just like, you're amazing. Like, it was just, like, so cute. And then they go to the party, I think, which is a couple days after that. And she dresses really cool, really nicely. Like, yep. I think it's like a floral, like, sundress kind of. And, you know, she's trying not to try too hard, you know, stupidity bullshit. Anyways, so they go to the party. They see Zach, and they didn't talk about this beforehand, but Jamie's like, or everyone's like, hey, here's this, and I'm her boyfriend. no
hesitation.
No communication about that. And she's like, oh, yeah.
She's like, okay.
Yeah, she's like, whatever, please. No, I'm just kidding. And so Zach kind of like, you know, parades, I think her name's Lila or something, the new chick he has. And
I didn't write her name down because she wasn't important.
oh hell no, she was not important. She like leaves Zach halfway through anyways. But so Zach's just staring at them, being like, she's just like on his lap and, you know, playing the boyfriend part, you know, and Jamie can see Zach looking at them, and he like plays it up, you know, like snuggles her, and I think they actually kiss.
Yeah.
Because he's like, guess who's looking?
I think this is the first kiss, and it's just like, hot damn.
Yeah. And of course, you know, fireworks, explosion, you know, and they're like, oh, Zach interrupts them, which is hilarious, because, you know, I don't want you to have her, but I don't want her kind of vibe.
Stupid shit.
Yes, 100%. He like comes over. He's like, "You guys want to come, you know, congregate with the party?" Jamie's like, "No, we're leaving," insinuating they're gonna have sex.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Also, in this part, he finds out that she's never had an orgasm with the guy,
Yeah.
which will come up later.
What do you mean later?
lot.
It comes up, yeah, it comes up a lot. So like, kind of Jamie makes it his like mission to fix that, remedy that issue. Right? That's
Yeah.
the best way to put it.
And then after the party, he goes off for like 10 days on a
yeah.
getaway.
Yeah, he's on a
The
like,
hockey.
away
away team.
Yeah, and they're like gone for like 10 whole days, and so they haven't, you know, worked through their frustrations.
And also, I love this part of the book because it's so funny. But he got drunk, and then
which he never does, by the way. Just putting that out there. Yes.
and then he decides that he's going to buy her a toy, and then he promptly forgets about it.
Which is hilarious. Yes. Yeah. It is hilarious. Yes. It's called like the Rose. If you guys know.
If you know, you know.
You know, I ain't explaining it. Look it up. So he buys that, and then on his way home, he gets a notification that will be delivered, and he's like,
Oh
huh?
shit.
So he's like, oh shit, I forgot I even ordered that damn thing. Like, so he's like racing home, like legitimately. He's like, Uber, get me home as fast as you can. And I'm just like, damn.
It's like, it says it's still out for delivery.
Yeah,
We gotta get it.
So he gets home, and he's just like, I don't see the package. Oh, okay, we're good.
Whew, we're safe.
Until he hears it. And of course, she thinks it's from her sister.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at with that. I think he actually like leaves, doesn't he? Or does he like
I think he leaves and then comes back. I don't know.
We're just on the high of that.
It was just funny.
Yeah, no, it's hilarious because it's like, oh shit, drunk me didn't know it.
He's like, what is she gonna think? She's gonna leave forever?
Yeah,
Just
pretty
cross
much.
the line. Which it definitely did.
Oh, 100%, of course. And I think this is when they go
Pippa.
Pippa, I had it there, and Hazel go for a hike because that's what they like to do with Daisy, and then obviously she realizes that her sister did not buy her that, and she's like, well,
The only other person could have been Jamie.
yeah. So Jamie decides to cook dinner, kind of like a date, kind of. He's like so fucking nervous. It's hilarious. Like, it's so sweet and endearing. But he was just like, she's like, oh, I didn't know you cooked. He's like,
He's
yeah.
trying to smooth this out with her because she hasn't said anything about it.
Yeah.
Because
And
she
he's like,
knows her
oh
sister.
God. So he's just like, yeah, I got this.
It's like, we're gonna fix it.
And this is kind of a little bit more of the backstory for Jamie. Since his mom had panic attacks, I guess as he was growing up, he also had she had depressions and stuff. That doesn't seem to be that much of an issue now. It's more the panic attacks, right? Okay. So he kind of like tells her that, you know, hey, yeah, I had to do a lot of like cooking, and that's into the conversation. He's like, now you know I can cook. Cool. So, you know, they talk, and then this is where she's like, did you buy me a toy? And he's like, yeah. and then I think this is where they like, she's like, but I heard you the other day, you know, saying my name.
Yeah.
And then it just gets, it's like awkward after this, and not really. So they're like, yes, we like each other, but no, we can't do this.
Yeah.
But I still want you. Right? I mean, it's just kind of like,
Yeah. And this is where it's our first, like,
yes, kind of
spicy chapter,
Mm-hmm.
which is 3 chapters long, by the way.
Yes.
35, 36, and 37.
I was very saying. I got 36 and 37. Yes, because it's important to know, you know, to reference back later. It's fine. So this is where he gets like the smug satisfaction. He's like, let's use it.
Yep.
And she is really shy about it because obviously she's only ever been with Zach and never orgasmed with him. He never really took care of her sexually at all. So she's just like, oh, okay. And then she kind of like thinks about Zach during,
And then it
is obviously, you know, instant like no. And then so he's like, okay, all right, well, we'll. I assume he gets under her. Like, this is weird. Weird scene. I was like, he's under her and, like, you know, uses a toy. And that's kind of the extent. Well, no, I'm sorry. After that, he jerks off on her tits. That's chapter 37, just in case.
It's a 3 chapter
Yeah.
spicy scene.
Yes.
Just so you know.
He takes really, he's like protective and grumpy, which is a great combination, by the way. And he's like really smug about the fact that he's like, I got you.
Yeah.
He's like, you. Yeah, let me get another one. Just like, I don't think I can. What the hell are you doing? So it's just kind of them exploring, and then they kind of make an agreement.
That they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not going to pursue it any further. Because after this, he had like 7 or 8 missed calls from his mom.
Yep.
And she had another panic attack.
About her friend not being home on time.
Yeah. Her friend didn't text her, and she thought the worst. So they divide and conquer. He goes to check on her friend, and she goes to his mom. Kind of helps her, takes the dog. Goes for a little walk to kind of ease her mind off of it. And Jamie finds the friend. Her phone died. Some shit. She's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all that really matters. And then that's when they come home and they kind of decide, yeah, no,
we can't do this.
We can't do this because Jamie still feels guilty that, you know, he wasn't there when his mom needed him. Just stupid. I mean, he was, you know what I mean, but
he wasn't.
Yeah, he wasn't. Yes. So he's just like, I can't do this. I don't want to break her heart, and you know all that stupid shit comes back.
Yep. Over and over again.
Yes. Very much so.
This is, and then after this, they have the second game with Rory's team.
Yes. Yeah.
And
I thought that was kind of funny. Go on. Sorry.
So, Rory flirts with Pippa and Hazel at this game, and then he asks Hazel to show him around.
Yeah. They also went to high school together.
Yes.
Yeah. Go on. Sorry.
So she goes, okay, we can go hang out, not have a date, just, like, be friends.
Yeah. hang out.
And Roy's like, yeah, we're going on a date.
Tomorrow, you're free? Okay, cool. So it's kind of funny, because I felt like Hazel actually, like, hated him. Like, I felt like he did something to piss Hazel off. Because I even wrote that, I'm like, she hates Roy. Not sure why.
I think that's going to come up with book 2.
Yes, no, 100%. So I was kind of surprised at the end of the book. It leads into, obviously, the next book, which is about Roy and Hazel. And I'm like, man, I felt some sexual frustration there. But I was just like, I felt like she hated that motherfucker. Like,
well, it's probably going to be enemies to lovers because she said she didn't date hockey players. Which, whenever they say they don't date hockey players,
they date hockey players.
They're dating hockey
or had dated hockey players and will in the future. Yes. So yeah, the next day, she is getting ready for her date. Then Jamie totally crashed. I'm sorry, the non-date. Jamie crashes it completely.
Yeah.
So Roy's there at the door. And Jamie just decides this is a good time to finger bang her.
Right by the door.
Like, to me, that stuff is so awkward because I'm like, oh my god, he's sitting right there. He's like, you know what I mean? Like, that to me is just awkward. I'm like, no.
He's like claiming what is his.
I know exactly
what he's doing.
I know, but it pisses me off because they disagreed. Like, no, we can't do anything. And then he gets jealous because she's going on a date, whatever, hang out. So they have dinner, all 3 of them, and Roy's like, okay, well, this is fun, thanks. Thanks for, coming on the date with us. He's like, oh, you're welcome.
No problem. Do it anytime.
Which I liked. I thought that was fun, but I just didn't like the first part of that. I was like, that's a little on my
weird.
Yeah, it's a little on my no list. I think this is when. So she's kind of Pippa. What do we call her? Okay, Pippa. Is kind of doing this assistant job of Jamie. Yeah, Jamie's assistant.
Yeah.
Until a marketing job comes up within the team. So Hazel, since she works with the team, she's like, hey, I know a job is gonna open up later this year. And so that's finally opened up. They're starting the interview process, and this is what Jamie went to school for, and she doesn't really want the job. She's like, no, fuck this. But it's her parents convinced her that it's a safe choice. It's the right choice. Parents want what's best for you. Yeah, stability. And, they thought the singing thing was just a hobby, but they didn't realize, that was her true passion. So she's, going through the interview process, not really wanting this job. And Jamie's like, well, why?
Because this whole time Jamie's been like, okay, well, you can do this. You got the talent to do this. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Come on.
Why are you going for a boring job when you can have this glamorous stuff?
I'm your number 1 fan. Come on.
Yeah, no, it's hilarious. So, I think this is where we're close to the gala, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, which I think this is hilarious. So, Jamie's coach is like, hey, you have an RSVP for the charity gala? And he's like, yeah. And then he's thinking in his mind, fuck no, I'm not going. And apparently, the coach could read that on his face. He's like, it's mandatory. He's like, oh, okay.
Also, are you going to have a +1? And Jamie goes, yeah.
He's like, yeah, it's my, that's an assistant job, right? I love how he's stuck on this assistant. She's only my assistant.
Sure she is.
Yeah, I know. This is fucking Lord. No, so after that, they go out to dinner, and she's like, Daisy needs a birthday. And he's like, huh, okay, I guess so. And then they kind of talk about the job and why she doesn't want it. And
And then this is right around Christmas.
Yeah, it's right around Christmas. And then this is, I think, where she finds out when they're out to dinner that the last song she played for Zach, he ended up stealing and tweaking it, making it his own. Yeah, 100% stole it. And so she's, I want to say she's upset, but
she's more mad than she is sad about it.
Yeah. That's where I was like, she doesn't want him back. It's just more of the fact that he said that she was never good enough, and then, bitch, you stole her work. Like, fuck you.
Yep.
Hate men like that. So, this is, I think, where she starts writing songs again.
Yes.
Not how she used to, but it's a start. Okay? And then she's, after the incident with picking up the guitar for Jamie, so she's like getting more back into music. And this is where Christmas happens, where they don't really see a lot of each other, so she and her sister go to home. I think it's Silver Falls.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And obviously Jamie's with his mom in North Vancouver, if I remember correctly. And he's, like, contemplating going to see her because he, like, misses her. And his mom's like, why the fuck are you still here? Like, go. Because I think it's, like, a couple days before New Year's.
Yes.
So he's like, yeah, you know what? I'm going. And so he goes to... It's funny because I think he, like, spends the night at her parents' house. And her dad is, like, a huge hockey person. So he's just like grilling the entire time on hockey shit. And this is where they exchange gifts. So she was eyeing this guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And he, like, it's like her dream guitar too. Like, it's the best one, like the one she wanted. And of course he bought it for her.
He also bought her a jersey
with his name on
the back.
Wonder what that means. No. And of course, she really didn't like hockey until she went to see him play a game. And
it's mainly just to support him.
Yeah.
She went to the boy aquarium to support him.
I mean, she finds appreciation for hockey there. Hockey goalie, I guess, technically. Somehow, two of the, is it Roy and Owen?
Yes.
I forget Owen's first name. I don't know.
I think his first name is Owen, and then his last name is something else.
Miller, maybe?
No, that's Rory. Hayden.
It's like, I know this. I know him. She got him a picture of Daisy.
Yep.
Printed out pictures of Daisy. And said that he could pick one and she would put it on the wall, frame it and put it on the wall. And then I think something else.
She plays the album for him.
Yeah. So, yeah. I think she actually sings in the song.
The Getting It On song?
Because she wrote a song based on how Jamie made her feel when Zach connected. And that's the song that she sings him, and he's just like, I'm all for it.
AKA the Getting It On song.
Yeah, 100%. So the next day is New Year's Eve. So she shows him around her hometown, and we go to a bar, like the only bar at that town.
Yep.
And that's when you see Roy and Hayden come join, just chilling.
I think his other teammates too.
Was it? I only wrote them because that's all that matters.
Yeah, they're the only two that are really important. Or you get names for.
Yeah, yes, that's true. Because they come back to the house with them. Instead of, like, going to a hotel or whatever, because it's probably booked or whatever. They just both sleep in the downstairs living room. But before that, she's, like, happy that he came to, the thing. And so they're at the bar, and I think this is where she sings. This is one of her second times that she sings in front of the crowd. And Hayden actually records it on his TikTok, or records a video, and then he asks her if it's okay if he posts it to his TikTok, because he's a hockey player. He's kind of a famous influencer, I guess, technically.
People know who he is.
Yeah. And then, of course, they share a New Year's kiss with fireworks, explosions, and everything.
This is where they, officially, are together, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like
I said too many times in that sentence.
Totally, oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like this is a kind of a changing point in the relationship. And, they all of them go back to the house, and she actually instigates it this time, I think, and she's like, I can be quiet, and he's like, I really don't want to do this is your parents' house, and definitely not gonna be the first time, you know what I mean? So he's like, no, so he goes back to his spare room that he's in, and I think she takes a picture of herself in Jersey. Yeah, and he's like, oh fuck, I'm done for. So he goes and he's like, are you sure you can be quiet? And she's like, yes.
Definitely not. Nope.
But they don't do anything other than, some heavy petting. And I think he eats her out. This is the first time for that, I think, right?
Yes.
And this is her first, I think, time experiencing that as well, to be honest with you. Just because, her shit boyfriend at the time is a shit boyfriend. So I think it's after that, 10 days after New Year's.
Is the gala.
Close to the gala. So this is when Zach texts her, he's like, can we talk?
Absolutely not.
And she's just like, fuck you, and she blocks his number immediately, and then out the door, didn't think about it again. And I hate him. Anyways, this is when you find out that Hayden had posted the TikTok video and has over 3 million views of her singing at the bar, and Jamie pushes her to some kind of breathing exercise, or I don't know what kind of exercise it is, but basically he's like, take a deep breath, close your eyes, imagine your dream where you want to be.
Yep.
And she's like, I want to be an opener. And she's like, wait, no, fuck that. No, I want to be the main person on the stage. And that she's signed with this famous producer,
Ivy Matthews.
Yeah, it's Ivy. And he's like, okay. And then she explains it, and he's like, email her. And this is where she kind of gets courage. She's like, well, if you don't shoot your shot, you never know if you win or not. Mm-hmm. So she emails Ivy, and then I think it's a couple days after this.
She does
she gets I'm not sure exactly what the demo is in music.
So she just recorded the album
that she made, and then whatever. Okay.
And then they're gonna shop it around to different labels and see.
Okay. So they do that, and that takes quite a long time.
Yes. That takes almost to the end of the book.
Yeah. I would say timeline would probably, I know it's a month, maybe 2.5 months maybe, for this process before she hears anything else back. So, yeah, she shoots a shot. She gets to the studio, and Jamie kind of comes in midway through, and she's like, I made the right decision, And so she really appreciates him being there. Basically he talked her into getting back on the ice. That's that was his little you gotta get back on the ice. And so I think this really helps her move forward. I don't think without Jamie, I don't know if she would have got to where she was.
No, Jamie pushed her to achieve what she wanted to truly achieve,
because he felt like she could do it.
Yeah.
He believes in her.
I know, isn't it scary?
Scary thought. So this is, okay, so it's sex scene, guys. Chapter 55, or 58 and 59.
Yeah, 58 and 59.
Yeah, I wrote it down. So this is when they would start with heavy petting, and then like
this is when they finally do it.
Yeah, yeah. So he's very bossy, has a very personality of that. So he likes to be a little bit more dominating in the bed, and so I think with his, not really his guidance, but with opening up sexually, she kind of voices more of like what she wants, because that's where we're at. I mean,
yeah.
So then this is, I put Jamie more than willing to provide. So he kind of talks to her and it's like, I really want to meet up with Aaron, kind of clear that out before we move forward. And she's like, okay, if you need some kind of, closure with that, I'm fine. So this is what I thought was pretty funny. So he meets with his old girlfriend, and she's actually pregnant.
Yeah,
I think it's with her first kid or
her second.
Was it her second?
She's married and she's on a sitcom.
Yeah, like a small mini series TV show. And so they meet for lunch and. It's so funny because she's like, I'm so sorry, as she's saying thank you. So it was just a big misunderstanding. She's like, you didn't ruin me. I just kind of figured out after that I was happy to not model anymore, because obviously after you have kids, it's frowned upon because beauty standards are shit. So she's like, I realized, after we broke up, that I wanted different things from life. So she's like, I, quit modeling because I fucking hated it. And she's like, I'm happy. You pushed me to do what I really needed to do. And he's like, oh. Like harboring this guilt over nothing. So that was kind of nice. And he was just like, oh.
And by the way, here's this dress shop that you can take Pippa to.
Yeah. Which is like, this is where he kind of gives her almost the princess treatment. After this, he's fully committed. I feel like after he closed with Aaron, and he's like, oh, I'm just stupid and didn't, well, not stupid, but
he also plays better when
yeah
she is at the games.
Oh, of course, 100%. Just there to just help. Yeah. So yeah. So this is we're at the gala this
we're at the gala.
Okay. Yeah, do you want to go?
So, a couple days before this, she gets news from Hazel that Zach is going to be at the gala. And she's like, well, I can just not go if you don't. And then Jamie's like, no, you're going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Regardless, you're going.
Oh, yeah. I mean.
And then they've already went dress shopping. He bought her probably a dress that's thousands of dollars.
Probably. We don't know the amount. We never do. But he's loaded. Well,
yes.
I wouldn't say loaded, but he lives comfortably being a hockey player.
And then he gets her massage. He does her
hair, makeup. Girl.
Decks her out tonight.
Girl.
She's ready to go.
Yeah. And, he's in a tailored tux, so he looking good. And, of course, she looks like a fucking $1 million too, so.
Yeah. And then they go down to the gala and they're there for a while, and she's like, he didn't show up. Zach didn't show up, so we don't have to worry about that. And then Zach kind of comes out of nowhere and he wants to talk to her. And
as she's going to the restroom, which I think is creepy, he didn't even go into the place. He just ambushed her outside of the. It was so weird because she's like, oh, he didn't come. I'm happy, and then bam, he's there. I'm like, hello. And of course, Jamie didn't let her go by herself, so he's there.
Always.
He's so protective.
So she sees Zach. He goes, I want you back. I made a mistake. She's not who I wanted. And then she goes, oh, hell no. I am worth more than this. I'm not going to be shoved in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Period. And then she 100%. Gives him the whole business.
Yeah. She's just like, yeah, fuck you.
And Jamie's like, yeah, I'm so proud.
Yes. He's like, because Hazel even like looks at, it's like, is everything going? And Jamie's like, nah, she got it. She's like chewing him out, like, fuck no, bye, bitch. And of course he made it seem like, you know, he was doing her a favor by asking her to come back. And fuck you, dude. You're not worth it. You ain't all that and a bag of chips. I'm sorry.
And she goes, oh, and by the way, I worked with Ivy.
Oh yeah, Jamie gets that chap in there, which I fucking hilarious. And he's like, because that was his like dream producer too. Yeah. So it's like, I'm like, fuck you. I love it, love it. That was a good one.
Yes.
Anyways, and then I think it's just
wrapping up where
wrapping up.
Jamie's mom has supposed to been getting help, but she hasn't, and she has another panic attack on their way back from the gala.
Yes. I think she actually hit a police officer this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, this is kind of where Jamie's like, Mom, like, I moved back to be here with you. And she's like, no, you just, you know, came back to, no. So he sets her straight. He's like, listen here, I came back to be closer to you, to handle your shit. But if you're not helping yourself, like, he's just like, lays it on. He's like, I love Pippa. Like, I want to be with her. And he's like, basically like, you're hindering this. Tough love. It was like really hard to hear. Like, you know what I mean? To like, but it was more of like, it needed to be said. Like,
yes. Sometimes that
tough love
situation needs to happen.
Yes. Yep.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yes. Too close to home, guys. Okay. So Donna actually really tries to get help this time. She's like, oh, okay, I see your point. I want you to be happy, and I'm hindering that. So I'm going to change.
Yes.
So, love that. Love some character development there. And then I think it's, like, this is where we go to the ending, right? The epilogue?
Yes. Well, the next chapter after that, Pippa confronts her parents and goes, I don't want this marketing job.
Yeah.
I want to play music. And they see her play for the first time, and they're like, as long as you're happy, we're happy. Yeah. And as long as you're being taken care of, I guess.
And Jamie's like, I got that, no problem. They just, I guess some of, like, her mom was really big into ballet when she was younger. And she missed her chance to go, or
she had an accident or something.
Yeah,
where she
didn't move forward, and she just didn't want that for her daughter. She wanted her to, be safe with a job.
Yep.
Secure, I guess I should say. And they haven't heard her sing since, like, she was in high school, so they're just like, oh, like, you really can sing. Yeah. Like, no shit, really? And so this is, I think, epilogue is what, 7 months later?
Yeah, something like that. But she's recorded an album. She's touring.
Signed with Ivy.
And then she's going to sing the national anthem for one of his games. And after she sings the national anthem, she's like trying to exit the ice. She's like, I'm getting off this ice.
Yes. And he's like, no, wait.
Yeah. And then he proposes to her on the ice in front of everybody, which is a nightmare to me. But that's beside the point.
They don't see anyone but themselves.
Yeah, but there's like hundreds of people, if not thousands of people in this arena.
Okay. Fair enough. But yeah, so that leads into the next book, which is who's getting traded to the team.
Yep, Rory. Surprise!
Second book. There you go. Not read. Sorry. And that is Behind the Net. Do you want to go over your? Do you have anything else? I guess. Anything else about the book?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh, I do want to point out that in my 2 other books that I have going on, I was reading 3 books that had a main male character named Jamie. And I don't know how I did that to myself,
Well, I didn't happen. Sounds like you did that to yourself. I mean,
because Game of Thrones has a Jaime, Outlander has a Jaime.
I mean, Outlander is Jaime. Like, come on.
Yes.
So you kept it pretty straight. I mean, I didn't notice. I just couldn't say her fucking name. Say my life. Okay, ratings. Do you want to go first, or you want me to?
Okay. My overall is a 3.
Okay.
My overall is a 3 because I love Elle Kennedy. And that's my problem.
Just mention that.
So my first hockey romance was the Off-Campus series, which is Elle Kennedy. She does hockey and other sports romances.
Okay.
Hockey is her main one.
Okay.
And those are so good that this didn't compare to that.
I gotcha.
Like, dang it. Jaime didn't stand up to Logan.
So what you're saying is, if you want a hockey romance, go with
Elle Kennedy.
Elle Kennedy.
Start with the Deal, not the Dare. The Dare's offshoot series.
Okay, alright. Fair enough. I gave it a 2.5. It was just really slow, and I just knew what was coming before. Like, with this whole Zach, I'm like, I know Zach's gonna come back. It was just too predictable for me, and just the miscommunication, like...
George nuts.
Yes, like, I'm like, just do it, it's fine. Go for it. That was mainly the main reason, just because it was such a slow... I felt like there wasn't really a lot of development with their relationship or the characters in general until later in the book.
Yeah, I felt like it was a little repetitive.
Yes.
On everything.
Yeah.
Especially, like, Jaime's like, I love her, but I can't be with her. I love her, but I can't be with her. And then, like, okay, well, you either need to figure it out.
Yeah. That's where I was at. So I was like, you know, like, I already pictured it. I already knew what was going to happen. So it was like, okay. And, I mean... The spice level wasn't even, you know, usually that's what grabs you. And if it's really slow, there's a lot of, like, spice, but there wasn't a lot of spice. So I was like, okay. I think when I liked it there more towards the end just because a lot of stuff was happening. It was, you know, but yeah, like the first, I would say 40% of the book is just repetitive. It's like, I already know. I know how you feel. I know you're traumatized, man, but get over it. But I did like his character and, like the bossy protectiveness.
Yeah.
So,
Jaime, unfortunately, is not gonna be on my list of my book boyfriends.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately. He's not gonna make the hockey book boyfriends.
Why, when there's so many other ones, right? No, fair enough. I mean, I thought he was... I could picture their grumpiness because it says, like, right on the back, grumpy. It's like, okay, yeah, he's grumpy. Yeah. 100%. But it wasn't a bad read. I guess, what spice level would you give it?
Probably a 2. Because there were some creative scenes in there, but it was just basically run-of-the-mill stuff.
Yeah, that's what I gave it a 2 as well, just because, I mean, after they have sex, which is like 80% into the book, I feel like there's not a lot after that either. Like, there's some, like, more of, like, you said, creative scenes, and a lot of, like, not, like, heavy petting, really, and it's just like, okay, yeah. I mean, that was it. I mean, it wasn't a bad read, don't get me wrong, it's just, a little slower than I would have liked. I wish there was a little bit more, I don't know.
A little bit more of them as a couple.
Yeah. Up until the end, you know. But yeah, that's all I got. So, I guess we're going to go with our next podcast book. Next week is our horror pick.
Yep. And it is Hide by Kiersten White.
Yeah.
And this one is a hide-and-seek competition. So, you'll have to tune in for that.
Yeah, I hope it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's our horror pick.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So tune in next time, and check us out on Facebook. We still have some bookmarks if you are interested. So, anything else?
No, I think that's it.
All right, see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.